In February 1945, during the final stages of World War II, American forces launched a major invasion of a small volcanic island in the Pacific Ocean called Iwo Jima. Although the island was small, it held enormous strategic importance for both Japan and the United States. Japanese forces had built strong defenses across the island, including bunkers, tunnels, and hidden artillery positions. American military leaders believed capturing Iwo Jima would allow their aircraft to operate closer to Japan. However, they also knew that the battle would be extremely difficult. The invasion that followed would become one of the bloodiest and most intense battles of the entire Pacific War. Unlike many previous Pacific battles, Japanese commanders had prepared an extremely strong defensive system on Iwo Jima. Instead of defending only the beaches, they built an underground network of tunnels, bunkers, and fortified positions across the island. Thousands of Japanese soldiers were stationed inside these defenses, waiting for the American invasion to begin. Hidden artillery guns and machine gun positions were carefully placed to attack enemy forces once they landed on the beaches. This strategy meant that American troops would face intense resistance the moment they stepped onto the island. The defenders of Iwo Jima were determined to fight to the end. February 19, 1945, American Marines began their invasion of Iwo Jima. Hundreds of landing ships approached the island, while naval ships bombarded Japanese defenses with artillery fire. When the first waves of Marines landed on the beaches, they quickly realized how dangerous the situation was. The volcanic sand made movement difficult, and Japanese defenders opened fire from hidden positions across the island. Machine guns, mortars, and artillery shells rained down on the landing forces. Despite the intense resistance, American Marines continued pushing forward across the beaches. The battle for Iwo Jima had begun. As American Marines moved inland from the beaches of Iwo Jima, they faced intense resistance from well-hidden Japanese defenses. Enemy soldiers were positioned inside bunkers, tunnels, and fortified positions across the island. Machine gun fire and artillery shells struck the advancing Marines as they attempted to move forward through the volcanic terrain. The soft black sand made it difficult for vehicles and soldiers to move quickly. Despite the heavy fire, American forces slowly pushed deeper into the island. Every hill, bunker, and defensive position had to be captured through close combat. The battle quickly became one of the most brutal and dangerous fights of the Pacific War. One of the greatest challenges faced by American forces on Iwo Jima was the extensive network of Japanese tunnels and underground bunkers. These tunnels allowed Japanese soldiers to move across the island without being seen by enemy forces. From hidden entrances, defenders could launch surprise attacks and then disappear back into the tunnels. This made it extremely difficult for American troops to completely eliminate enemy positions. To defeat these defenses, Marines often used flamethrowers and explosives to clear bunkers and tunnels. The fighting was slow, dangerous, and required incredible bravery from the soldiers on the ground. One of the most important objectives during the Battle of Iwo Jima was Mount Suribachi, a large volcanic mountain located on the southern side of the island. Japanese forces had placed artillery and observation posts on the mountain, allowing them to target American troops landing on the beaches. After days of intense fighting, American Marines slowly pushed toward the base of the mountain. The battle to capture Mount Suribachi involved close combat against well-defended Japanese positions. Eventually, American forces managed to reach the top of the mountain. What happened there would soon become one of the most famous moments in World War II history. After days of intense fighting, American Marines finally reached the summit of Mount Suribachi on February 23, 1945. Capturing the mountain was a major victory because it had been a key defensive position for Japanese forces. Once the summit was secured, a group of Marines raised the American flag on top of the mountain. The moment was witnessed by soldiers across the battlefield and quickly became a powerful symbol of determination and victory. Photographers captured the famous image of the flag being raised, and the photograph soon became one of the most iconic images of World War II. Although Mount Suribachi had been captured, the battle for Iwo Jima was far from over. Japanese defenders continued fighting from bunkers, tunnels, and hidden positions across the island. American forces had to clear these defenses one by one in brutal close combat. The fighting lasted for several more weeks as Marines advanced slowly across the island. Eventually, American forces secured control of Iwo Jima after one of the toughest battles of the Pacific War. The victory came at a very high cost for both sides. The Battle of Iwo Jima became one of the most famous and costly battles of World War II. Thousands of soldiers from both sides were killed during the intense fighting on the island. Despite the heavy losses, the battle provided an important base for American aircraft operating closer to Japan. The image of the flag raised on Mount Suribachi became a lasting symbol of courage and sacrifice. Today, the story of Iwo Jima continues to be remembered as one of the most powerful examples of determination during World War II.